So, my name is James Russell. I'm 36 years old, and I am currently Principal Lecturer in Film Studies at Montfort University here in sunny Leicester. To be honest, what gets anyone into film is being interested in films. I'm often asked on open days what students can put into their personal statement, and the truth is that I was led to film studies like I expect them to be led to film studies, which is that I was interested in films that I watched. So I say to them, just tell them you like watching films, because that's kind of the route that got me into films. That films were a form of escapism, I guess, when I was younger. They were an access into other worlds and other places you might do and things you might see and encounters you might have. And more than anything, really, films they're quite emotionally satisfying, rich experiences. And I guess I grew up in the age of video, just as video was becoming popular and mainstream, so I had access to films. And it was easier than ever to be a cinephile. I mean, it's still a million times easier now. But it was just being interested in watching movies, and I guess becoming aware of the people who made movies, the ways that I might understand movies, that kind of stuff got me interested as well. And then from that, I did a degree in English. I liked English, but felt that we didn't know anything about economics or artistry or anything like that. So I went on and did a master's in film studies, because I'd actually history of popular cinema. So I'd done well enough at English to do a master's, and for various reasons I wanted to stick around at university. And I found suddenly, quite shockingly, that I was good at it, that I was getting really high grades. And from that point onwards, really, a career in academia started to seem more and more natural. So on the one hand, I was interested in film. On the other hand, I was, I guess, adept at the kind of things that academics do, more and more, really. And then I found myself at De Montfort, and things have just continued apace from there. Well, there's a range of different ways, really, that we can understand the importance of film studies. The first is that for the vast majority of people, they will spend something between, I don't know, an hour to 4 to 5 hours, often a day, consuming media, some of which is going to be film. For some people, watching films will be an important social activity, it's an important economic activity. On a purely personal level, we spend money on watching films, and even people who don't go into the cinema will watch films. Right? It's an important entertainment choice that we make, and it's worth understanding that. I think that's what's vital. It shouldn't be unexamined, our relationship with film. More than that, films are a fairly complex art form that, if anything, is much more complicated than just taking a photo or painting a painting, which I know require insane levels of skill. But film is collaborative, it's produced for a range of different reasons, which compare artistry and commerce. And so as a business and as a kind of activity, it's quite intense and complicated. And I think if we want to understand why we watch what we watch, we also need to understand the process. Then I think film itself isn't just valuable as a kind of artistic or personal thing, it's also valuable as a sort of social economic force, right? What role does it play in people's lives? More than that, what role does it play in the economy? Like, how do making films translate into jobs for my students, but also jobs for a whole load of other people? How do filmmaking activities affect the infrastructure of the nation? How does film going affect the infrastructure of the nation? These things seem to me to be very interesting, but also valuable questions, valuable for understanding our place in the world, but valuable for understanding what we might do with our lives. So that's why we do film studies, because it's important and worth doing.